1,000 feet south of 495. Local agent, local advice. The time to think about insurance is before you need it. So do yourself a favor, and before you pay your next insurance bill, give Ed and his team a call, 516-935-3900, or visit them online at www.allstate.com/EL. Edward H. Lehman Insurance is your trusted insurance advisor.
Be fearless at MMA Long Island and Seituha Karate. Located at 28 Colt Court in Ronkonkoma, MMA Long Island is the martial arts school for you if you want to learn combat-proven techniques, build confidence, discipline, and self-esteem while learning real martial arts to fight back against bullies, predators, and peer pressure. MMA Long Island offers group and private lessons for all ages and levels in traditional Goju-Ryu Karate, MMA, and self-defense. MMA Long Island is one of Long Island's most affordable martial arts schools. There are no promotion, belt, or membership fees, and family discounts are available. All classes are taught by 7th degree black belt Sensei John Benedict with over 30 years teaching experience. So whether you want to get in the ring or protect yourself and your family, MMA Long Island can help you reach your goals. Visit MMALongIsland.com. That's MMALongIsland.com or call or text 516-381-9660. That's 516-381-9660.
Do current market conditions have you nervous? Our experienced team of financial professionals at Heritage Harbor Financial Associates understands that no two investors are alike. We all have different goals, needs, and appetites for risk. That's why the one-size-fits-all approach does not work, especially when planning for retirement. At Heritage Harbor Financial Associates, we analyze your unique investment style so that you can work toward your individual retirement goals on your terms. Heritage Harbor Financial Associates can help you take steps to reach your retirement goals by providing a wide array of financial products to fit your needs, even for the risk adverse. Give us a call at 631-331-6599 to learn more or to set up an appointment with one of our financial professionals. You can also find us on the web at hhfa.org or on Facebook at facebook.com/hhfa.org. Our number again is 631-331-6599. That's 631-331-6599. Investments in stocks, bonds, and mutual funds and variable annuities are not FDIC insured and are subject to fluctuation in value and market risk, including loss of principal. Heritage Harbor Financial Associates offers securities through AXA Advisors, LLC, New York, New York. Member FINRA, SIPC. Annuity and insurance products offered through AXA Network, LLC.
It is the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. The Sports Hit List presents Smoking Mirrors with Declan Krogman and the Polius Brothers, Greg and Stefan, breaking down the biggest news in sports, giving you the stories behind the story. Here for all the smoke, all the time, right here on the White Sport.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Sports Hit List. Welcome to Smoking Mirrors, presented by the Sports Hit List on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. I'm your host, Stephen Polius, alongside my fellow hosts, Declan Krogman and Greg Polius. It's a great Monday. I'm feeling pretty good out. I'm feeling good. I had a great weekend. How about the two of you? Greg, how you doing?
He does it every time.
There we go.
He's become more consistent.
I had a good stretch for like 2 or 3 shows where I didn't do it.
I mean, that was 2-3 shows like 5 or 6 shows ago.
All I'm saying is I had a stretch. But anyway,
kind of like the A's.
I was saying, you know, it's crunch time in the semester, so my weekends are few and far between.
I hear that. That is. I don't miss those days. I'm gonna say that right now. I don't miss them one bit. Deck, what about you? Finals for you as well, I'm assuming.
Yeah, well, getting there. I think in a couple weeks. Yeah, I had a fire weekend. Even this morning, you know, went out with some of the boys, hit the fields. You know, got in some live BP, some work for the game against you guys on Wednesday. Feeling it? Can't read.
Doesn't matter. Won't help you.
Oh yeah.
So
well,
rude. You didn't have to do
it's
it.
Okay.
You know.
I mean, you know,
It's been in the group chat. For those that don't know, Declan is playing in the same baseball league as us. Greg and I are on the same team. Declan is going to be pitching for another team in that league, and Greg has been relentless in
Absolutely relentless.
Yeah. Well, it's the buildup is great because it's just gonna look all the more funnier when he strikes out on 4 pitches. So I'm excited. He knows it.
4 pitches.
I called him yesterday to tell him that all right, fine. You want 3? You want 3? Would that make the smack talk more?
That's even if you get to that many pitches in an at bat.
You think you're gonna ground out on pitch 2? I mean, maybe.
I'm building Declan's character. He doesn't even realize
he is. No, he is totally. You got to deal with like people that are talking trash. It's awesome. Like it pumps people up. I'll just
some people.
I won't. Some people. Yeah, exactly. I won't be like Mad Bum on the mound and like take all offense to it and start yelling at the dugout.
Whoa. Mad Bum had a great weekend. All right.
Well, that's another happy segue into his great weekend. But Manny in the group, in the chat saying. The comment section saying Greg is a player manager, thinks he's Jordan.
Wow. Jordan was absolutely a terrible manager until LaMelo Ball fell in his lap. So please do not compare me to that trash.
Yeah. Well, then that's a good segue into what we're going to talk about, a little basketball for our New York fans out there. No, Greg, you're not involved in this. If you want to mute it, you can. Don't want to listen. But the Knicks and the Nets are doing really well. I mean, the Knicks, I should say. So we talked about them on Friday. They had the 8-game winning streak, and it extended to 9 games. They won on Saturday. So the Knicks are doing well. They're going against the second-place Suns today to try and continue that streak, which is a good, test, a litmus test to see where they're at. But they have been performing very well as of late, and great way to end out April and to go into May, into postseason hot, because we all know that it's the hot hand that tends to win it. And if the Knicks can keep this momentum, it'd be huge for them. And then you have the Nets, who are now in first place in the Eastern Conference. And a lot of that is contributed to the 76ers dropping their 4 last games. But the Nets have been playing well. KD is back. For those Net fans, I know you were excited seeing that game last night. It was 28 minutes. He put up 33 points, 6 boards, 4 assists, 2 steals, and a block. It's a KD line without KD minutes.
the league's done good the past couple of weeks. They got KD and AD back. So
yes,
top 2 powerhouses in both conferences got their stars back. Minus
exactly. And we're still missing James Harden. To see exactly. Seeing the Nets performing the way they are with just KD and Kyrie. Kyrie's been holding it down for them, staying healthy of the big 3. But also, I think was great to note of KD coming back from his injury. 57% from the field. Efficient as hell. So yeah, it's great for New York sports. Everyone except Greg is happy about the Knicks. Memphis is doing well. Memphis is doing well. Ja Morant is going off.
And I know since
and I believe that's all. Yeah, and I believe that's all the time we have allocated to the Memphis Grizzlies on this show today. So we're gonna have to move on.
Well, we're gonna stay on it just a bit. So for those that tuned in on Friday and heard my little rant about my fantasy basketball team, that I was I snuck into the quarterfinals, and the odds were stacked against me. A perennial 7th or 8th place team in the regular season. I just want to update.
Third time we're hearing this speech and this little spiel.
Don't you worry.
The odds are stacked against me now.
Happens. It's gonna keep happening as long as I keep winning. But so Declan ruined the surprise, but I won the quarterfinals. It was a 6-2 finish. Shout outs to Ziggy. It was a great matchup. But stayed in the driver's seat the whole time. If you do care about all these updates, you're gonna get more. So week semifinals are starting today, and I'm feeling really good. Just like the Knicks and the Nets, my team, Basketball Jones, we're pretty hot. We went to this postseason hot, and we're gonna stay hot. So you will definitely get an update on Friday to see how the matchup's going. But things are
sure we will
on this side. You damn straight you will.
Yeah. But can I mention a little?
That I needed to get
baseball for a sec. Just maybe about half a second.
Go for it.
Half a second. At first place in the Sports Hitless Fantasy Baseball League, we have a tie between myself and Stefan at 12-9-1. I'm so upset. I was up on Chuck. What is he saying? Did he freeze up?
No, go ahead. I'll get at you when you finish.
I'm not getting at anybody. I didn't even think I was in first place after the disgrace of a week I had this week. I was up 9-1 on Chuck all week. and I wound up losing 6-5. As far as the Western Conference, if you would like to take a guess who's in first place, it's Brian Krogman. He's 17-5 so far. And shout out to Eddie Gonzalez. He's 15-5-2, holding it down in the second place spot in the West. We got a long ways to go, but hey, fantasy baseball, what can I say? Full swing.
Nobody cares about who's in first place in the second week of fantasy baseball. Absolutely. No one does. Not even people in the league.
Well, no one does. Well, especially I wouldn't care either if I was 5-17 in the last seed of the Western Conference.
I mean, again, it's the second week. Yeah.
It is. No, of course. I just gave I was giving a little update. We haven't mentioned the fantasy baseball.
We have not.
Yet.
You're right.
So I thought it was a fair, little intro. I didn't even think I was in first place, to be honest, but I'm happy I am.
And you know what? Shouts out to you being in first place in the third week of fantasy baseball. I'm glad we got that update, and you will hear more about our fantasy league because I feel like maybe you want to hear about it. And
I'm a narcissist. Steph had a little bit too much of his fantasy shine. I had to kind of, bring it to baseball, get a little shine.
Fine. It's a good segue because we're gonna start talking baseball. We have our baseball.
Yeah, man. There we go. We got to find some weekend.
I want to start by shouting out Michael Kopech. We covered a few weeks ago, or I should say a week ago. We covered Brett Honeywell Jr. And how he came back from a major injury and pitched in his first game. Beautiful inning. Michael Kopech, who had Tommy John surgery back in 2018, actually September 5th, 2018 was the last time he pitched in the majors. He had Tommy John surgery, was out 2019, sat out 2020. This season has started as a reliever, but if you are familiar with that name, former prospect, he was a starting pitcher. He was always projected as a starting pitcher. He's gotten 2 starts after 4 relief appearances. The last start coming this weekend went 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, and 10 Ks.
Good for him.
I think he was in like the high 90s in the averaging for his fastball.
Yeah.
I watched the highlights. Dominant. He was nailing the inside-outside corner. Honestly, was very Jacob deGrom-esque as far as the location of the fastball and how he was utilizing the fastball up in the zone and down in the zone. So just wanted to shout him out. It's good to see. It's good for baseball, and it's just good for Chicago because that's a team that.
No, go ahead, Steph. I
was going to say that Chicago's a team that everyone expected to do really well this season, going into the season, and they came out the door gate a little, staggering a little bit, but getting that momentum and getting the wins that they deserve and need.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty ironic you say the deGrom comparison because I believe when he was in the Red Sox farm system, he was very upset because Noah Syndergaard, because they both have, I think Kopech cut his hair now, but they both had long blonde hair and he wanted the nickname Thorn. He didn't get it. But now if he's looking like a different Mets pitcher, maybe he's better off. He's a highly covered guy.
Yes.
When he came up, he was going out with Brielle Bierman, the daughter of Kim Zolciak from Real Housewives of Atlanta, and Croy Bierman. So now he's done, and I think he was going out with like a Riverdale star, married, had a kid, and now divorced. I don't even know what that was. I'm not sure.
I will cede all of that gossipy stuff to you because I do not know what his life is like off the field.
Dude, this dude, since he's been on the field, he's had a lot of changes. Cut his hair, new girl, new child, divorce. Nice. I mean, this guy's been busy off the field, on and off the field for sure. Nice. And now he's back in his domain.
Back in the
which is good to see.
Which it is good to see. So shouts out again to Michael Kopech and how he's hopefully going to stay in the rotation. We'll see. But moving on to what I think we all want to talk about, which is the Padres and the Dodgers. If you watch that series, then congratulations. You're looking at and seeing playoff-like baseball.
You had a great weekend.
April. It's spectacular to watch. You had 4 competitive games. The Padres ended up taking the series 3-4, but they were mostly close.
You mean 3-1?
3-1. I'm sorry. Why 3-4? Look at me. 3 out of 4 games.
3 out of 4. Sorry.
3 out of 4 games is what I meant. Yeah. It's okay. Greg didn't want to talk for the last 5 minutes, but he wanted to add that bit.
That's what he wanted to. He wanted to jump in. And
he just want to jump into that point
all over him. Yes.
But yes, it was a great series. Greg, since you've been quiet and you want to talk now, what do you think of this series? How are you feeling watching that? Was it everything you wanted it to be and more? Are you a Padres or Dodgers? I don't know which way you lean.
I'm on the Padres side.
Okay.
So it is currently the best rivalry in sports. And
yeah, I would
that's
say so.
across all major sports. And if you watch the back and forth with Bauer and Tatis, the energy in that series, Mookie making a catch, Mookie making that catch, and banging his chest, like you could see the enthusiasm and the emotion that these players are pouring into this series. And I think it's great for the game of baseball. Tatis remembering what Bauer did in spring training and doing it back to him, not once but twice. Like this is what baseball needs.
I thought Trevor Bauer handled himself really well in the post game too. Like he's a guy that rubs a lot of people the wrong way, and I thought he said, listen, if I'm going to get upset about that, then maybe I'm soft. I got to dish out. He's got to take in what he can dish out.
Definitely. I think what Greg, what you're referring to is the Colin McGregor swagger walk. That one, is that what you're saying? With Tatis?
No. He was given the like when he pitched with one eye.
I got you.
Yeah. When in spring training, Bauer covered his eye and threw pitches with one eye for an inning. And then Tatis took him deep twice, and as he rounded the bases, he covered his eye, which I thought was great.
It is great, but what's interesting about that Tatis home run, if you haven't heard, is now a peak. I'm going to call it peak gate. I don't know if people are calling it peak gate, but I think peak gate works. But Tatis during that at bat apparently looked down, and it doesn't seem like he got the pitch, but definitely got the location of where the pitch was going before the pitch comes. So he ends up hitting a slider, which is off the plate yard. He takes
He's out of the strike zone.
Yeah, it was way out the strike zone. It's about 3-4 inches out the strike zone, and he took a yard. And so I think during the Tatis rounding the bases, Bauer was like, you know what, I missed. I didn't miss, but he got me. I threw the pitch where I wanted to, but he got me. And then after looking at the tape, finding out that Tatis might have looked in, he had a few words for him saying, that he's all for bat flips, but peeking in, that's just not good for the game. It's disrespectful to the game. And I agree with that. That the peek in to me is something that I know it's an advantage. It's like stealing signs from second, but it's taboo. It's taboo in the game. I think we could all agree that it is taboo. Even if he didn't get the pitch, he did get a location with the movement, unless he could have switched up and he would have been fooled. But
So here's the thing, though. You as a hitter, there are times, especially when you're digging in, you may look down and you're not even looking for a sign, but as the catcher, unbeknownst to him, is setting up his location already, and you're like, oh, okay, I guess where this pitch is going to be. And it's not necessarily deliberate. And even if it was deliberate, we still have pitchers using, unknown quote-unquote banned substances to get better grip on a ball. There's cheating all around baseball. It will never stop. At this point, it is what it is. That's just my take on it.
I don't think that's on the catcher or Trevor Bauer. I saw a comment saying hide your signs better. I mean,
no.
Looking. What is he supposed to turn around and reflect it off the front row?
But what I'm saying is Tatis obviously was not set, right? If he's looking down.
Did you watch it?
No. So tell me how.
Yeah. If you watch it, Tatis is set and he goes down. It's not natural what he does, because we all have been at the plate. You dig and you look at the plate. Tatis doesn't. His bat's on his shoulder pretty much. He's not touching the plate to square himself up. He just looks down, and you can tell it looks weird by that, because no one would do that. Because Bauer pretty much is set waiting for his sign. No hitter is gonna do this before a pitch comes. You're looking at the pitcher. So it was unnatural. And I don't agree with the notion that cheating happens, so let's just let cheating happen, right? Then there will be why have rules at that point?
Cheating is a legit fabric in the game, though.
What I'm saying,
part of the game.
Yeah, what I'm saying is getting advantages but that doesn't mean that the game cannot have set up rules that curtails that, right? I don't think that Tatis doing that, because what you're saying with that logic, every hitter should go up there and try to steal signs. That isn't good for the game to me. It just isn't, right?
If Trevor Bauer throws a beanball at him at his ribs, and Tatis gets mad, what's the conversation we're talking about now? Are we saying Bauer's out of line, or was he right for if you see Tatis is looking at the sign?
I mean, according to Greg, I think he said he would agree that Bauer shouldn't throw at him, right? Because Bauer might have had a banned substance before that. So it's like, well, you got to cheat, now I got to cheat. I get what you're saying.
And shout out to our umpire, Pat Green, in the comments.
Love Pat.
If you see, if that's what you think is happening, you step off, catcher shakes up the signs, you go with a different sequence.
Yeah. It was too quick for that to happen in that moment.
The catcher puts a middle, The catcher puts a middle finger sign down, and you throw at his wrist.
Yeah, I mean, you might throw a high and in, you might throw let him know, get off the plate or something like that. But I think with that particular AB
music.
though, it's chin music. But with that particular AB, you can't do that.
Yeah.
You can't it wouldn't work, right? He paid for it with a home run.
Yeah.
I just think
what happened?
No. I just think that there's so many different little nuances in baseball that we can call quote unquote cheating, and it gets a bypass, us trying to figure out the other third base coach's signs. Like, that's a form of cheating, but it's accepted. You know what I mean? So, where do we draw the line? Because the name of the game is to get an advantage on your opponent. By the basic metric of cheating, all of that is cheating.
Yeah, but if a guy's if the third base coach has the signs, that's out in the open. But to make an obvious, to go out of your way to look down and back at this, you're looking at nothing besides the signs.
Yeah, agreed. You can't say nuance and then not speak to the difference between what you just used as a comparison. Signs that are out in the open like that, and if someone deciphers them, yes, you have to decipher it, right? There was no one on. That was a solo home run. The sequence that they go through is usually just one sign. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But again, he didn't get the sign. He got the location, and that's all he.
Whereas if a runner's on base, you see 3-4 signs.
Yes. You know what I mean? So I don't think that
I'm with you 100%.
I don't agree. I don't agree with the substances, but that's something that could be regulated by the MLB. I don't agree also with hitters looking in, especially the way he did it, looking in before a pitch to try and get a location or a pitch. So that's where I stand on that. Greg clearly is real blasé about everyone getting an advantage in baseball. So
they do.
We know where you stand. That's
Gary. Yeah. That's a fine sense. Gary says the same thing as us, Steph. He says peeking at signs is a bad look. That's not technical or anything. It's just cheating. I'm with you on that. There's really no strategy.
I mean, so is stealing signs from second base. That's not tactical. That's cheating. But
at least there's some strategy involved.
But not even strategy. But teams will then switch up their signs. There is a whole sequence you go through. You have more than one if someone's at second base, so that you prevent them from that. So baseball already has something in place to prevent that. It's not like they're just if they get it, they get it. No, you change up your sequences, especially if someone if they start to read in and understand, okay, well, 2 is the slider and 3 is the fastball. Then you switch up once you realize that it's happening. So I just don't agree with it. I'm not saying that we should allow it. It shouldn't be condoned. That should be called out for what it is.
Look at you, Greg, responding to Chuck in the comments section. It's very sneaky. But I think you're trying to be super consistent about it before we go to break. And I feel like there's levels to it. It's not like banging a trash can, getting electrical pulses is very different than if you see okay, you're on second base, runners on second base, you see they're going to throw a fastball and you kind of touch your helmet or something. There's a difference. I mean, you can get a 4-year-old to look back at the catcher and peek. Hide the signs better. What do we want the catcher to do? Slam his shin guards together? Now the pitcher can't see the sign. You don't do it. It's just lame. But he hit a shot, so it is what it is.
Yeah. As Declan said, we're going to break. Stay locked in with us. This is Smoke and Mirrors presented by the Sports Hit List on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. We'll be right back.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Be fearless at MMA Long Island and Seituha Karate. Located at 28 Colt Court in Ronkonkoma, MMA Long Island is the martial arts school for you if you want to learn combat-proven techniques, build confidence, discipline, and self-esteem while learning real martial arts to fight back against bullies, predators, and peer pressure. MMA Long Island offers group and private lessons for all ages and levels in traditional Goju-Ryu Karate, MMA, and self-defense. MMA Long Island is one of Long Island's most affordable martial arts schools. There are no promotion, belt, or membership fees, and family discounts are available. All classes are taught by 7th degree black belt Sensei John Benedict with over 30 years teaching experience. So whether you want to get in the ring or protect yourself and your family, MMA Long Island can help you reach your goals. Visit MMALongIsland.com. That's MMALongIsland.com or call or text 516-381-9660. That's 516-381-9660.
Edward Lehman has bbeen a trusted insurance advisor for over 16 years with insurance solutions for auto, home, commercial, life, and retirement. He's located at 54 Sunnyside Boulevard, Suite H in Plainview. That's just 1,000 feet south of 495. Local agent, local advice. The time to think about insurance is before you need it. So do yourself a favor, and before you pay your next insurance bill, give Ed and his team a call, 516-935-3900, or visit them online at www.allstate.com/EL. Edward H. Lehman Insurance is your trusted insurance advisor.
Of course my kid's in the right car seat. Well, I think he is.
Yeah, my kid's in a booster seat. He was ready to move up. He is ready, right?
Her car seat looks like the right size.
There are probably rules on when to move up to a booster seat, aren't there?
Rear facing, forward facing. I think I have it right.
Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Are your children in the right car seat for their age and size? Don't think you know. Know you know. Go to safercar.gov/the right seat.
I know my child's in the right car seat, or else I wouldn't get in the driver's seat.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. This is Smoke and Mirrors on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Welcome back. This is Smoke and Mirrors, presented by the Sports Hit List on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. I'm your host, Stephen Polius, alongside my fellow hosts, Declan Krogman and Greg Polius. We were talking baseball before the break, talking about the Padres and the Dodgers, and one Padres player, he's been a part of this podcast, a part of this show for a few weeks now, and that's Fernando Tatis Jr. Declan had his take on him, and so far he has been correct. Tatis has struggled out the gate. However, this series is really where he's broken out. Tatis on the series batted .444, 9 runs scored, 6 RBIs, 5 home runs. All right, he did have 5 strikeouts. Only had 1 multi-strikeout game, though, during the series. And he's looking hot. He's looking like the player that we expected him to be, which is exciting for the Padres because when he goes, they go. And honestly, it's again, for baseball, right? You have Soto's out right now on the IL, and I believe that Acuna's on the IL as well, or is he just...
No, he's
day to day. He's day to day. He's back.
He was day to day. He's been back a couple games now.
Got you. So it's just good to see, marquee players like Tatis, because in that game last night, he took 2 bags, and that double steal was pivotal in them going ahead.
Huge.
Game, they need him, and then the game needs him, especially that series.
Definitely. So it's good. It's good to see him getting going and doing what he does best. Excited to see this continue. I will say that he was close to the Mendoza line. And for those that don't know, the Mendoza line is a reference to a former shortstop, Mario Mendoza, who batted around 215. But it's throughout baseball, when you bat at 200, that's the line. That's the barometer for bad. So he was close to the Mendoza line.
He was under for a little while.
Yeah, he was under for a bit, but like going like
188.
Going into this series, he was a little bit above it and currently at 246. So shouts out to Tatis Jr. Hopefully he continues going on this path. What I do want to move on to is someone near and dear to my heart. Whenever this man pitches, I get butterflies. I'm not gonna lie. Watching his performances, it's special. Even if you're not at the stadium, I can only imagine being at the stadium to watch. I'll just say his name now, Jacob deGrom. All of you probably knew who I was talking about those feelings.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Taijuan Walker. My bad.
But Jacob deGrom has been dominant, and he's looking like otherworldly, really. So we touched base on him before a few episodes back. Back then, he had at least 14 Ks in back-to-back performances. He just had a complete game, 2-hitter. with 15 Ks, which is a career mark for him.
Best game of his career, probably.
Yes, definitely best game of his career. And watching that performance was truly masterful. I mean, I was going to put it out there for you guys, and Deck, I'll start with you. Are we witnessing greatness? You know, is this you know, when you look back at the 30 for 30s of all these players that had amazing careers, are we currently going through that with deGrom right now?
Absolutely. He's having a Pedro-like run when he was with Boston. And listen, I'm a Yankees fan. Which side is it? Yeah, the inverted camera. I had to rock a Mets jacket today just
blasphemous.
For him.
Wow.
Not really. You know what?
Wow.
Whatever.
Never thought I'd see the day. Got to screenshot this.
You should, man. It's not a Memphis Grizzlies pullover, but no, it's he is just phenomenal. Anyone who says he's not even close to being the best pitcher of the game, or anyone's close to him, it's insane. He's way better than Cole, a lot better than Shane Bieber, Giolito, Nola, Scherzer, Buehler, Bauer alike. He is just different. And Marcus Stroman said it best. We're witnessing greatness. This is something that we have not seen in a long time, and we might not see for a while. I remember his debut. I was in 6th grade. Wanted to go to that game. Watched it. It was Yankees Mets. I want to say it was a 1-0 game. The Yankees won, which is a nice barometer to how his career in New York was going to go. And he went like 7 innings, 6 Ks, 4 hits on like a run on like a cheap.
That was his first start because he came in as a reliever.
His debut was he came up as a reliever, but yeah. So
I thought maybe I'm remembering.
His debut was against the Yankees because he was originally called up because they thought he was going to relieve, but Rafael Montero, who's now a reliever on the Mariners, got injured. So then they had to put deGrom in, and deGrom wanted to make sure that he could start, and he was just electric. Struck out Jeter. Teixeira, all these guys, he was making him look foolish. And he also went up against Chase Whitley, who was making his debut in the major league. So we had 2 guys going against each other for both teams. Great time to be alive. But now witnessing Jacob deGrom, for baseball's sake, it might be a better time right now.
It's funny because Rafael Montero was supposed to be the guy when they both came up.
He was he was a prospect in deGrom.
No shade. Yeah, exactly. I mean, they drafted deGrom in the 9th round as a former shortstop convert, and I feel like now everybody's just mentioning that, like, oh, and even now that he gets better, this guy used to be a shortstop. It's like, you know what it reminds me of how much he's being mentioned? It reminds me every time Todd Frazier would get up to the plate for the Yankees or the Mets. If I got to hear one more person say he's from Tom's River and then he played Little League in the Jersey Shore, I'm going to explode. And, like, we get it, all right? It happened. You mentioned it the last 75 times he stepped to the plate.
Well, deGrom being a shortstop in college is way more relevant than Todd Frazier playing in
because of the
Tom's
dominance.
River. Yeah.
Yes. I was making a joking comparison, but yeah, it's huge. I mean, the guy's increasing velocity in his 30s. He was touching 90 when he was at Stetson, which is a Division I program. It's just it really is. It's remarkable. And now Rafael Montero, Chuck mentioned he's closing for Steph's Mariners. No shade on him.
No, former closer. Graveman's closing now. No. Graveman's had it for the last few weeks, actually, the week or two.
Yeah. He's a late reliever, this Montero. He closed for the Rangers last year in the shortened season.
He was inconsistent for the Mariners. That's why they put in Graveman, who has
absolutely
run yet.
Yeah, Pat Green in the comments, our favorite umpire. Definitely better than Angel Hernandez. If Pat Green was blindfolded and turned around, he'd be better than Angel Hernandez. He's a Yankee fan. He says, though I do like the Mets. Cole is close, he says, and some are a close nice. I don't know what he means by that, but so are a bunch of starters. None are better than Jacob. Absolutely. And Pat Green's got the hair now. He's got the old Jacob deGrom.
He has the flow.
A long hair look. Yeah, he's got the flow. Absolutely.
He's donating it like he always does. He grows his hair to donate it. The man's a
saint. What a man. What a man. And now just last before we get, I'm just going to read a quick little thing in the comment section. Then I want to hear Greg, go on his tangent here. The Mariners did start Chris Flexen.
Wait. You just said I'm going to go on a tangent, and we're talking about Jacob deGrom, and you mentioned Chris Flexen. Nah, stop it. You're done.
I mean, like a happy tangent. A happy tangent. No, we're talking about former Mets.
Nah, I don't want to hear that.
You want to talk about Philip Evans? How's that not make sense? We're going on we're going down memory lane for the Mets.
We're doing a tangent to a tangent. So how about we talk about Chris Flexen real quick? Because that's what you were going to say, right? He started.
We don't really have to. We could. Yeah, he just started for the Mariners. He's been good thus far.
Decent.
But decent. I was just interactive in the comment section, But I would like to hear what Greg has to say about Jacob deGrom, a man whose ERA he's similar to in the men's league. By the way, that's a compliment. I'm not going to take any shade.
I thank you. I haven't thrown an inning yet, but I'm looking forward to it this weekend. As far as deGrom goes, I was in my house going nuts watching that game, jumping up and down and screaming like a kid in a candy store. But I made a mention of what we're witnessing is Bob Gibson-esque. I forgot, somebody said it was a hot take, and I'm okay with that because even though Bob Gibson, quote, they say 1968 is probably the best season ever. He had a 1.12 ERA, and he led the league in Ks with 268. I think it's very possible if deGrom keeps up this pace, he will be more dominant than that, and we will be talking about one of the greatest seasons ever from a starting pitcher.
Yeah, and that's a guy who had a 170 ERA already, which is insane. Steph, I think you're muted.
Yeah, you're definitely muted. We can't hear you.
Yeah, he's still muted. In the meantime, though, I guess we'll continue the deGrom. I think I hear you now. I feel like we just got him back.
Are you back?
Maybe not.
Am I back?
No.
Yeah, now you are.
Yes, he's back. There you go.
It wasn't a muted thing. My audio interface decided to really kink out on me right there. Technology and me, we're struggling. We're not on the same page.
Yes.
But I'm back. I was going to say that as far as deGrom goes, the ERA, he has a 0.33 ERA right now with a 0.55 whip, which is ridiculous to think that.
I wonder if he's doing it to shout out Matt Harvey with the 3-3.
For those that don't know, whip is walks per hits per innings pitch, right? And so base runners that he's allowed on, one would mean that he's allowing one base runner, per inning. It's half of that. He's allowing half of a base runner. It's absurd to think that this is capable. In 4 starts, has it been? Not 5 yet, right? It's 4?
Yeah, I think he has 4 starts. 50 Ks in 4 starts.
Yeah, 4 starts. Just impressive, dominating the league. So we could belabor the point with Jacob deGrom because he is just a force. And I also just love, it's the composure for me, because whether he has runners on or off, it's the same guy, right? We've seen pitchers with runners on, pitch a little bit differently, feel the pressure of the moment, maybe, especially in New York. I don't care that the Mets have been bad for as long as they have. deGrom, whether you're deGrom or, Chris Flexen when he was here to reference Declan's favorite player. But
I couldn't even tell you his jersey number.
But the environment, regardless if you're good or not, is still very tough to deal with. So you need to perform. And deGrom goes out there, regardless of the situation, and still pitches his game, inning in, inning out. And that, to me, is what sets him apart from other pitchers. And obviously his stuff, increasing your velocity every year is just unheard of, especially after 30.
He has the highest average fastball of any pitcher in the league.
That's including relievers, which you expect relievers to have the highest because they're barely in there. For starters to go 7 innings, 6 innings, and still keep up your velocity is very difficult. He still pumps 99 when in that complete game. He was pumping 99 in the 9th inning.
Yeah. And I thought it was so cool how efficient he was too. Like he was going for the strikeouts. He had 15 or 14 Ks after 7 innings. Goes out to I don't think he got a strikeout in the last 2 innings. He went out,
he didn't.
Yeah, he didn't. He didn't.
Just got weak
contact.
I think.
Yep.
Yeah, I think Lindor made like 4 or 5 ground ball plays, but I think it's such an interesting conversation, and we can harp on it all day. Kind of the difference, not to spotlight Bauer, but the difference between deGrom and Bauer in terms of their intensity and the perception and the persona they put out on the field. Bauer's, big, and I'm not saying this is the wrong way to do it. I'm saying they have very different ways to do it.
It's different.
Bauer's big personality, a lot of emotions, celebrations, talking, tweets after every game, tweets every inning. Nothing wrong with that at all. But very different from deGrom, who's kind of more of a silent killer, not on social media. Not that what has to do anything with his on-field play. Silent, kind of, he's got that quiet intensity. He's got the depth there into the play.
I think the difference is deGrom has the best stuff in the game at this very moment.
Yes.
So no pitcher is really going to compare to him. Just Josh Harrison was hitting almost 400, and he came into that game, and deGrom made him look silly for 4 ABs. Like really, like he made major league hitters look like they didn't belong on the same field. And the last time I probably saw that was maybe Pedro and Randy Johnson.
Yeah, I think it's so comparable to
Great
Pedro's
comps.
run in
Great
the late
comps.
90s, early 2000s with the Sox, man. I really feel like that's like the most closest thing we've seen.
So, again, my boy deGrom, love him. A former, I want to say former ace. It seems a little rude to call him that, but we did have a
No, it's
standout
true.
performance. Yeah, I mean, it's. I feel bad saying it, because it's Madison Bumgarner. But Madison Bumgarner this weekend, yesterday actually in a doubleheader, he pitched a 7-inning complete game, 7 innings, 7 Ks. Only a base runner he allowed was on an error from Nick Ahmed from short, but he pitched a complete game, and it was impressive. Him actually and Zach Gallen combined for a 14-inning complete game shutout. Zach Gallen allowed.
Gallen was great too. Only
He
gave
was
up
great.
2 hits. I don't even know if he gave up a run, but we can tell you how many hits Mad Bum gave up by using the Tatis, giving the one eye little 0 there.
But the interesting thing though about that doubleheader is the MLB has confirmed that in a doubleheader, any 7-inning game, neither a team nor individual pitcher will be credited with an official no-hitter in a scheduled 7-inning game or doubleheader unless that game goes into extra innings. So Madison Bumgarner is not going to get a no-hitter under his belt because of that complete game no-hitter, which is very odd given that the MLB has made this rule now to play doubleheaders this way and then take away statistics from players that accomplish something that is still great. Real quick before we go to break, what are your thoughts, Greg? Let me know.
I'll be quick. Just like Lance, our cousin Lance and Manny said in the chat earlier, is BS. Because if you're going to count the stats, the hidden stats from a 7-inning game, why are you not counting the no hitter? These were major league rules to change it to 7-inning games. So you might as well treat it like a real game.
Yeah, I'm with Greg on this one. I think it's stupid. It's unfortunate, though. There's nothing Madison Bumgarner could have did about it because it's a 7-inning game, and you don't know how electric it was. Also, on the other hand, though, not to play devil's advocate, but to bring up the other side, a lot of guys, everyone knows the hardest, outs in the no-hitter are the final 6. So it's different when the final 6 in the 5th inning versus when it's in the 8th or 9th, and we've seen, more guys lose it in that part.
I disagree. Whether a game is 7 or 9, the hardest outs are always the last 3.
I agree that the hardest outs are the last 3, but it's very different when you have 2 more innings to continue the greatness, right? I think that it's not about discrediting them. More so, it's the asterisk, right? Like giving them the credit, maybe notifying or putting some kind of disclaimer that it is 7 innings. You shouldn't take that away from a pitcher. It's still very impressive, and that would be Madison Bumgarner's first no-hitter, if I'm not mistaken, in his career.
I agree. Put the asterisk, 100%.
Definitely. But on that note, we're going to head to break. Everyone, we're going to move on to a little UFC after this. So stay locked in. This is Smoke and Mirrors presented by the Sports Idiots on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network, and we'll be right back.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Do current market conditions have you financial professionals that no 2 investors like? We all have. Do current market conditions have you nervous? Our experienced team of financial professionals at Heritage Harbor Financial Associates understands that no 2 investors are alike. We all have different goals, needs, and appetites for risk. That's why the one-size-fits-all approach does not work, especially when planning for retirement. At Heritage Harbor Financial Associates, we analyze your unique investment style so that you can work toward your individual retirement goals on your terms. Heritage Harbor Financial Associates can help you take steps to reach your retirement goals by providing a wide array of financial products to fit your needs, even for the risk adverse. Give us a call at 631-331-6599 to learn more or to set up an appointment with one of our financial professionals. You can also find us on the web at hhfa.org or on Facebook at facebook.com/hhfa.org. Our number again is 631-331-6599. That's 631-331-6599. Investments in stocks, bonds, and mutual funds and variable annuities are not FDIC insured and are subject to fluctuation in value and market risk, including loss of principal. Heritage Harbor Financial Associates offers securities through AXA Advisors LLC, New York, New York. Member FINRA, SIPC, annuity and insurance products offered through AXA Network LLC.
Ranger Station, Ranger speaking.
Hi, I'd like to report a bear hug.
Okay.
Well, we were building a bonfire, and I saw some, dry brush and leaves around, so, I said to move the bonfire somewhere else, and out of nowhere, Smokey Bear shows up and hugs me.
So you noticed some wildfire hazards and moved your bonfire to a safer location.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Smokey, all right. He likes it when people help prevent wildfires. It hits him close to home. Not everybody gets the hug, my friend. So it's pretty special to get a hug from Smokey Bear.
So it was him. Hey, guys, I told you it was Smokey.
Okay, well, congratulations, my friend. And thanks for calling. There are many ways to prevent a wildfire. Learn how you can do your part at SmokeyBear.com.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Sponsored by the U.S. Forest Service, Ad Council, and your state forester.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. Waking up every day, lifting him from the bed to the wheelchair to the car to get him to therapy on time, it's no small task between the doctors and the diagnosis, but nothing can disable this love. This is my big brother, my hero. He's part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. See, there's no time for tired. This starts again tomorrow. He'll be waiting for me. I wake up for him. I know he needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community, or call 877-333-5885. Caregiving Resource Center. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. This is Smoke and Mirrors on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Welcome back. This is Smoke and Mirrors, presented by the Sports List on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. I'm your host, Stephen Polius, alongside my fellow hosts, Declan Krogman and Greg Polius. And we also have our special guest on, Garrison Polius, the younger Polius.
Hello.
How you doing, Gary?
I'm well, man. Thanks for having me. I'm really excited about this. You guys' show's been great so far, so I'm excited to add to the segment.
Thank you. I'm happy to have you on because we're talking UFC, like I said before break, and this is the first time for Smoke and Mirrors. I know that I'm not the UFC guy, and Greg, Declan, maybe you know a thing or two, but Garrison is going to be our UFC guy today because from what I hear in these streets, this UFC, match 261 was a big deal. And from all I know, really, and Garrison, I'm going to let you take it away in a little bit, was Kamaru Usman and Jorge Masvidal.
He's having trouble with the names. He really doesn't.
Hey, having trouble with the names. It's cool. We're going to get you there.
I told you, this ain't my field, but I'm ready to talk about it. I heard it was a great match, or rather it was a highly anticipated match. And give us a little bit more about that. I know there's some undercards as well. Just let us know about it. Give us some info.
So to start, yeah, man, 261 it lived up to everything that you expected it to. Before I even get to Masvidal, I do want to shout out Rose for she was the co-host. She was the co-main event. She ended up getting her title back in the strawweight division, so that was huge. Also, Chris Weidman had a nasty injury. He went and broke his leg, and it was nasty stuff. Like I So I do want to say, hopefully he gets back to it. Ironically, he had that Anderson Silva had that same injury against him back in 2013. He broke his leg fighting. It's ironic, but in regards to Masvidal and Usman, so this is actually round 2 of them. The first fight that they had back in 2020. Now, personally, I didn't believe Masvidal should have been in that ring in the first place. I didn't think they matched up well. Usman he's a very strong fighter at 170, and you saw it in the first match. He absolutely dominated him. I believe he had 5 takedowns. He controlled the match the whole game. He had him on his ground. It was just ground and pound, literally the whole match. So it was a unanimous decision, Usman in 5 rounds. Now you get to the second fight, and so Masvidal's camp, he went in there preparing to stop that ground attack. He knew that was his strength. Masvidal is a stand-up fighter. He has great hands. He had I would say a rebirth in his career, and he was making some really big knockouts. Actually, he's one of the guys who used to be fighting with Kimbo Slice in the backyard. So Masvidal is R.I.P. He's a brawler, and he's a gamer, and he goes in there, he competes. So he went into his camp as trying to stop that ground game, trying to stop those takedowns, and Usman came and absolutely destroyed him. It really wasn't even funny because he stood up with him, and I didn't expect for him to get knocked out like that. I think that's honestly probably knockout of the year, where it was flush, clean. And then he caught him with a couple of hammer fits to end. Oh yeah. Now, granted, I don't even. Jake Paul's a whole different story.
Oh my god, Pete Davidson. Everyone knows Pete Davidson was the MVP of that fight. But I first want to say, Gary, I'm so happy that you're here. Listen, I'll get to the comment section in a sec. I see something funny, but it's such an honor to be in the presence of the best catcher in New York named Gary. And I'm happy to see you.
Yeah, there's a guy up in the Bronx named Gary. I'm not too fond of him either.
Yeah. I think Greg might be muted. I'm not even sure.
I'm good.
But I didn't hear the hyena laugh. I saw the nice little smile. When you see Greg's teeth, you know he says something funny. Speaking of funny, we got a Polius disguised as Christian Dior in the comments section. I don't know. I don't know how you do it, Deck. Being one myself, being surrounded by one Polius is painful enough. How do you manage with 3? Sorry for you and apologize to you. We got to get Lance in here to make it 4. I'm actually really happy being, I don't know. It's just an exciting show.
So look at that, Ted. It backfired on you.
It did backfire on Ted, and as it should. All right.
What did he think? I was going to go against 3 right now? It's a terrible idea.
But Gary, I do have a question for you. So again, not knowing much, like I said before, but Masvidal, I looked at some highlights, right? And just looking at the body type, I guess it doesn't matter as much to UFC, but he didn't look as in shape to me as Usman. I don't know if that matters maybe in the stamina department, but it seemed as though to me when the few kind of highlights I've seen from UFC, it more of a match as far as just fitness and readiness.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't say fitness or readiness because they all camp. Their camps are usually intense. I'm not going to take that away from any UFC fighter. They usually prepare going into those fights. Some people, you can't prepare for everything. You have to try to make a game plan and stick to it. So that's where Masvidal got caught up. But in terms of size, Usman's bigger. And it may not be weight wise because they got to the same weight, but he's a bigger, solid, stronger, fighter. Yeah. So
what did they have to weigh in it?
Oh, 170. So
so he's a bigger 170.
Yeah. So they fought at the welterweight, and I'll say this: Usman is clearly he's pound for pound the best fighter in UFC right now. I'm a John Jones fan, diehard John Jones fan, and they have John Jones as number 1 pound for pound, and Usman's number 2. But John Jones hasn't fought since Dominic Reyes, and honestly, I didn't think he won that fight. I don't think he beat Dominic Reyes. I think Dominic actually won that first 3 rounds, and they gave it to John off of those championship rounds. And off of that, and based on just because he hasn't fought, I have Usman as number 1 pound for pound. The guy has been on an absolute tear. He went and took the belt from Tyron Woodley back in 2019, and then has just been dismantling the competition. And he's one of the 3-star African UFC fighters who has belts right now. So I'm so happy where UFC is right now. I'm happy for Usman. I'm excited to see. I don't know who he's going to fight next. There's always some speculation you might have him fight Connor.
They're talking about going to get thrown in there.
Oh, but I will say
he's going to say something.
I will say this. I am no big Connor fan. The man sells. He will sell you tickets. But if we're being
wait. You jumping ahead of my question.
Talk it. Let me hear it.
I was gonna ask you, after the fight, Connor tweeted out that, basically Usman kind of stole his swag, stole his moves. That's essentially what he was saying. Do you think this is Connor trying to tweet himself back into relevancy after some kind of not so great showings, or do you think there's a legitimate fight, in the future?
There is no legitimate fight in the future. If it is, it's going to be selling tickets. This is what Connor does. See, before he really came to prominence, Connor sold tickets. He hasn't he's a showman. If anything, he is he will draw you in. He will talk trash, and he's a performer. The guy has a killer left hook, and he could really put you out on a dime. And he's fought well, but in the past couple fights, Connor hasn't been anything impressive. I think, and not only that, he's a featherweight and lightweight fighter. Welterweight is at 170. Connor, to get up there, he fought there 3 times. He fought against Donald Cerrone, which was his comeback fight, which was a total farce. I've never seen such of a waste of a fight that I've ever.
Was that the fight where he went up to the guy's grandmother and he was playing all nice?
That was Dana White saying, "We need to keep you relevant. We don't want to make you Ronda 2.0. We're gonna give you a little slam dunk."
Ronda 2.0.
Donald Cerrone he has some of the most. I think he has the most wins in UFC history, just in terms of longevity. He's been around forever, and then he fixed his face to say, "I've never seen someone throw a shoulder at him like that." It was honestly embarrassing. However, he's only ever fought. So he fought Donald Cerrone and he fought Nate Diaz at 170. And Nate Diaz, I think he won both of those fights. But
those
they
are
ended up
some
splitting.
fun battles.
But Connor isn't comfortable at 170. He's and these are lower echelon people to fight at 170 at welterweight. You're going to get the champion? He doesn't even deserve that title fight. I need him to win at least 2-3 matches before he even gets a sniff at facing Usman at 170. It's he's just doing what he does. He's selling tickets. This is what Dana has him for. He's his cash cow. He's gonna go there, sell tickets. He's gonna bring people in, get people interested. But I don't think that fight's actually happening. Connor's
Connor's a character. That you're not a big fan of Connor.
No, it doesn't seem that way. It doesn't seem like he's a big Connor guy. There's another guy that's, I don't want to say equally annoying because that just sounds mean, but maybe more so annoying. We got a former Disney star, Jake Paul, obviously. I just had to say it. I really did. It took a lot.
Appropriate.
Yeah, we got a former Disney star who grew a beard now, and his name is Jake Paul.
Big difference.
And do you see his name getting thrown into a potential matchup for Osman here?
I can see Jake getting some. I think he could get a fight. His fight with Ben Askren was an interesting one. Now, Ben Askren is a Olympic wrestler, UFC submission artist. He actually got knocked out by Masvidal, just to kind of bring it full circle. But he's not a boxer. He doesn't really have a stand-up game, and he came into that fight overweight. He
had a dad bod. He was built like a middle-aged substitute teacher coming into. Just go right in. That's an internet meme.
He's getting some heat there, Declan.
All right. That's not as good as Ronda 2.0 though. That was a fire bar. I'm gonna remember that.
You know what I think? Ben Askren knew he was gonna get paid, and that's the thing. UFC, you're gonna see a lot of these guys in UFC try to get these big matches or celebrity matches because they don't pay as well. You could be a champion. What Conor got fighting Mayweather, he's never gonna see that again in UFC. And I'm sure that's why he's going to push for those fights. And a lot, Ben Askren got paid well. And if he took a loss, it's whatever. It's a gimmick.
He was walking out of the ring smiling with his wife. And you know what? Yeah. I do the same thing. He's going to laugh his way to the bank.
Yeah. So that's
just how it is.
But I do believe that I don't think Jake Paul is awful. I think the guy has knockout power.
Yeah, he's not terrible.
He's not a terrible fighter. I do think that he's very selective about who he fights. There's a lot of hungry guys. who would want to get into the ring with Jake Paul, and they'd probably eat him up. But he's gonna be selective about it. But I'm interested to see what he does.
Hold on, was it Jake or Logan who called out Daniel Cormier?
Oh,
I can't tell the difference between the two.
That was Jake.
I'm pretty sure that was Jake, and he lost his mind. Like just for a second, Daniel Cormier. And now again, I'm a John Jones fan, and they've had their beef throughout. Daniel Cormier is easily the second best light heavyweight fighter of all time, potentially one of the best heavyweight fighters of all time. The man is as versatile as he comes. He's undersized. He has hands for days. He's knocked out the current. Well, the ex-current, because he lost to Ngannou.
The former,
Stipe, the former. So he knocked out Stipe in their first bout, and I didn't expect him to do that because the man is smaller than him, and he weighed in. And Jake Paul has no business doing that.
but I think I want him to have the business.
Daniel Cormier could come off his couch and probably catch him in like 45 seconds.
It's talking about on the streets. He come off the couch, end up in the streets, and just catch Jake Paul.
No, Cormier ain't no joke. Even he'll come in with a dad bod too, and he'll give him the business.
I seen that.
I would really love to see it though. I would like to see that. And then I know, is this Logan Paul Floyd Mayweather fight? Is that ever going to happen? Because I feel like we got teased with the idea of a potential brutal slaying of
a cash grab. A cash grab.
Man, Floyd is always he's gonna say things for buzz. Floyd is as brilliant as it comes with keeping his name relevant for stuff like that.
Marketing.
So if they're saying it, exactly. He'll market it. He'll kind of float it out. Floyd's not fighting this dude unless they're paying him astronomical money. He's not fighting this dude. He took an exhibition last year in Japan, and he got paid millions. It wasn't even it was closed doors exhibition fight. He's going to do what he can do to make money, but he will continue to draw buzz. Logan's not getting the ring in with this guy. And if he does, he's going to get absolutely dismantled. That's one of the greatest defensive boxers of all time, period.
I think that's why a lot of people want to see it, though, is they want to see, and I think it's the UFC and everyone's done a good job of kind of marketing it, and especially the Pauls alike. Everybody wants to see these guys just get destroyed. And they're going to fight these light guys that really just aren't. Like, listen, Ben Askren was a hell of a wrestler, not a professional fighter like that at this point in his career. He was retired for a reason. And he came in out of shape, and they're gonna get these little guys. I mean, Nate Robinson. We're bringing in the shortest basketball player in the last 15 years to go up against Jake Paul.
Well, that was a celebrity thing. I won't give that against him.
Exactly. Yeah, Chuck Baldy let the Pauls fight each other. That'd be pretty good. That'd be funny. Oh, but yeah, I mean, it's just ridiculous at this point. I know we're getting short on time. We could probably spend a whole week on it, but I thought that was very funny. Jake was very upset that Pete Davidson called him out, and they didn't like. He said that, and I thought this was funny. He said that, why are you talking so much trash on my stream, on my stream when people are here to watch me? And Logan's kind of like, dude, that's your stick. People are not there to watch you. They're there to watch you lose. They don't like you. Like, even his brother's like, all right, well, calm down. His dad wanted to fight him, and even Jake was like, he's like 6'4". Like, why don't you cool your heels there? The Pauls are ridiculous, but maybe they have a future in UFC, or maybe not.
Well,
I mean,
they're entertainers, man.
What happens though?
Yeah, they're entertainers. They're doing exactly what they grew up doing. They're entertaining us. Yep. They're bringing relevance. They're bringing cash revenue, and it's a win-win. If he gets knocked out, hey, I'll love it. I'll love to watch it.
I think a lot of people would love it, and I think that is definitely his shtick for sure.
Well, that is our show. I just want to thank Garrison really quickly. For those that don't know, I think it was like 2016, 2015 when you got into UFC. It still blows my mind when you speak the facts you do. It's amazing.
It was like 2013. It was like 2013.
All right, bro. I was 2 years off.
Found out.
Hey, he's doing good.
Found out in 2015, but it was there.
Yeah. Can I mention one thing before we go? Just one thing quick. My mom is in the chat. Maybe Garrison and my mom will get along because they both like UFC. That's not true. My mom is just there because the entertainment. Just the entertainment with the Pauls. Didn't Cormier have a run-in with Jake Paul last weekend at the UFC match? That was yesterday. They had a little run-in at the little words. Yeah. Yeah, I guess you could call it a tiff.
That's definitely a tiff. I would call it a tiff.
That is probably what it would be. But yeah, interesting little anecdote there. Have a
yes.
See you guys Friday.
It was great. Thanks again, Garrison, for coming
thank
on.
you for
giving us our
having me,
UFC.
man. Thanks,
buddy.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
It was
No,
great. It was great
hopefully I'm
having
back
you.
for UFC 262.
As long as they keep having
don't
UFC
leave.
matches, you'll be on.
That's a
We'll
fact.
cover it.
Gary versus Jake Paul.
Yes, this is Smoke and Mirrors, presented by the Sports Idiots on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. I'm your host, Stephen Polius, alongside my fellow host, Declan Krogman and Greg Polius, alongside our special guest, Garrison. We had a great time. Hope you enjoyed. We'll see you again on Friday between 1 and 2. Take care and have a good week.
Have a good weekend.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.